dead lantern road at dusk, cutting south through pines. Cold in the bars, cold in my teeth, and his gloves inside my bag this time. They call it noon from Harlan's place. Said you better come on through. Didn't say much more than that. Didn't need to. Ride low. He's gone. He was the kind who laughed with blood still drying on his hand. The kind who'd show at 3 a.m. and never ask a man to stand. We buried 2 old dogs together, one shotgun and one shame. And now I'm riding to a churchyard, trying not to say his name. The road ran black, the headlights shook, and every mile felt borrowed from a book I never took. At the county line I pulled off once and let the engine breathe. Held his gloves up in the headlight wash, like there was something underneath. But leather is just leather, son, and death stays death the same. A man can search a dead man's things and never find what came. Ride low. He's gone. Ride low till the morning comes on wrong. Ride low. And don't talk big tonight. Just tires on the dark and one less man alive. Sweetwater had one motel with a heater full of dust, a clerk who called me darling, and a sink stained red with rust. I was headed west for work, or something close to that, till a trooper ran my plate and the past came crawling back. Old Warren out of Baylor, old fight outside a bar, old me still making phone calls from inside a county car. I could run by midnight, I could lie by dawn, but I'm tired of leaving trouble for somebody else to own. I could curse the system, I could blame the rain, But a man knows when his shadow has been calling him by name. They let me keep my boots on, took my knife and cigarettes. Said court won't sit till Monday, so I had time to regret. I called my cousin Danny, he said I'll make the bail. I said don't spend good money on a dog that knows the jail. I could run by midnight, I could lie by dawn, but I'm tired of leaving trouble for somebody else to own. I could curse the system, I could blame the rain, but a man knows when his shadow has been calling him by name. The holding cell was quiet, just a drunk and me inside. He cried about his children, I pretended not to mind. Then somewhere near sunrise, he asked me what I'd done. I said mostly kept on moving when I should've stayed with one. Monday came in gray light, with coffee burning weak. The judge read off the paper like he'd heard worse all week. I paid the fine in silence, signed my name real slow. Walked back to my motorcycle with nowhere else to go. I could run by midnight, I could lie by dawn, but I'm tired of leaving trouble for somebody else to own. I could curse the system, I could blame the rain, but today I let that shadow say my whole damn name. My bike died at the graveyard like it knew where to quit, right beside old Calvin Stone and the weeds around it. I hadn't come to visit, hadn't brought no flowers, just cut through for the back road to save myself an hour. Some machines know more than men. Calvin was a hard one, but he lent me his last dime. Then I spent it on a woman and disappeared by supper time. He died before I paid him, before I learned to call. Now there I was stuck smoking by his name on the wall. Some machines know more than men. I kicked the starter twice, nothing. I cursed the plugs, cursed the gas, cursed the cheap Chinese battery. I swore I'd never buy. Then I looked at Calvin Stone and ran out of things to blame. I sat down in the crabgrass with my jacket for a seat. Said I should have paid you sooner to a dead man under me. Felt stupid talking honest to a name carved in rock. But shame don't need an audience, and truth don't need a clock. Some machines know more than men. Crawling on the fence post like a judge dressed cheap. like wreaths. The county had gone to sleep. I pulled $300 from my boot and my vest, tucked it under his flower pot. Like that settles any debt. The bike fired first kick after, mean as it ever was. I laughed so hard I coughed blood and scared off every dove. I rode out through the iron gate, slower than I came. Some men need an engine failure just to say a dead man's name. Some machines know more than men. Some roads choose where they end. Some debts don't die just because you forget. Chairs at the kitchen table, one for her and one for me. She had coffee already poured, like she knew what time I'd be. The house smelled like old curtains, soap and winter air. My boots looked too damn dirty for the floorboards there. She didn't say welcome home. I didn't say I'm sorry. Love can sit in silence when the words come up too heavy. She asked if I was eating. I lied and told her yes. She saw through it easy, like a mother does best. Her hands were thinner now, her hair had gone to snow. Time had done its riding while I was riding low. She didn't say welcome home. I didn't say I'm sorry. Love can sit in silence when the words come up too heavy. My father's chair was missing from the corner by the stove. She said he went in March, like I was supposed to know. I looked down at my coffee, felt my throat go tight. There are calls you never make that don't stop ringing at night. She brought out a shoebox full of letters I had sent, postcards with no address, money when I had rent. She kept every small proof that I was still alive. Some others build a chapel out of what survives. I fixed the back step for her, changed the porch light too, mowed the weeds by the fence line, like chores could make me new. At dusk she stood beside me, said you can stay the night. I nodded like a stranger, trying to earn the right. She didn't say welcome home. I didn't say I'm sorry. Love can sit in silence when the words come up too heavy. Some roads end in a kitchen with two chairs and no pity. There were two chairs at the kitchen table. Morning came, slow and blue. She poured the coffee again, and I stayed for two. She works the parts counter at Johnson's on Route 9. Knows every gasket number, knows every busted line. She can read a man's morning by the oil on his hand. Knows who rides too angry, knows who barely stands. She don't ask where they've been, she don't ask what they broke. She just finds the right part and lets the silence smoke. Old clubs come through laughing, young guns come through loud. She rings them up steady and never join in the crowd. One man buys a mirror, one buys brake lines twice, one brings in a helmet with a crack through the stripe. She don't ask where they've been, she don't ask what they broke. She just finds the right part and lets the silence smoke. Her father rode a shovel head until the winter took his spine. And now he sits by the window, watching traffic decline. He taught her every thread size, every bolt that likes to strip, and how men say I'm fine with blood under their lip. There's a picture by the register, faded by the sun. Her dad at 27, before the damage was done. She touches it at closing, like a habit, not a prayer. Then turns the deadbolt slowly on the smell of rubber air. A man came in last Tuesday with a father's old club ring. Said he saved my life in Houston, then didn't say a thing. She gave him the part he needed charged him half the price. Some debts don't come with paper. Some kindness don't come twice. She don't ask where they've been. She don't ask what they owe. She just finds the right part and lets the hard men go. She works the parts counter under fluorescent light, selling little pieces of what keeps man alive. Down by the river bend, kill the motor, let it tick. Black water moves like old bad thoughts, slow enough to make you sick. There's a willow hanging low out there, and one boot lost in reeds. The sheriff found his jacket once, but not the thing I need. The river's got teeth. The river's got teeth. He rode behind me all that night, two bikes cutting through the rain. One weak light, one busted laugh, one man too proud for pain. We stopped to smoke by Miller's Bridge. He said, "You ever feel it too? Like some roads ain't roads at all, just something pulling through. No scream, no sign, no final word worth keeping. Just one dark slip, one useless hand, and me still half asleep. It burn like prayer, thin down to air. A man can outlive what he loves and still not make it home. He just gets old beside the banks and learns to grieve alone. The river's got teeth, and brother, it still chews. The river's got teeth, and I still dream of you. The room smelled like bleach and old smoke, and rain trapped in the wall. A weak lamp buzzed, the ice machine coughed somewhere down the hall. You sat there in my work shirt, boots still on your feet, like leaving was a thing you knew before sleep touched the sheet. Cheap motel moon, don't make this look like love. You asked me where I got the scar that runs down past my jaw. I said a man in Arkansas. You said that tracks, and looked toward the door. Then you told me about a son you had back when your hands stayed clean, and how some people leave your life but never leave the scene. No music, no TV glow, just two tired souls in the air, too thin to lie slow. By 4 a.m. your keys were on the table by the bed. You kissed my cheek, not like desire, more like something being said. At dawn I found one silver hoop and lipstick on a cup. I stood there with that little thing and knew enough was enough. Cheap motel moon, don't make this look like grace. Cheap motel moon, don't soften up her face. Cheap motel moon, we were only passing through. The sign outside kept buzzing blue. There's a tunnel under Mason Hill where the city never grew. Graffiti on the concrete ribs and water bleeding through. Young men go there midnight with engines full of pride, to hear the walls sing murder when they open up the ride. Hallelujah, hollow road, that the dark began to burn. Hallelujah, hollow road. Hallelujah, gasoline. Every echo wants a body. Every boy wants to be seen. Call it wisdom when I still felt it in my chest. My bike roared through the belly of that wet and concrete beast, and every dead fool answered like a drunk cathedral priest. At the end I killed the engine, let the silence take a bite. Heard my own heart knocking like a fist behind the light. I thought of all the young ones with their cameras and their claims, selling little pieces of their bones for louder names. Oh, hallelujah, hollow road. Hallelujah, rust and steam. Every echo wants a body, but not every man must feed. There's a tunnel under Mason Hill where the dead still make a sound. I don't ride there anymore, but I hear it underground. He stands by the clubhouse door when the engines die outside, counts the helmets on the bench like a priest counts sins at night. Nobody jokes about it, nobody says his name. Since the summer out near Flagstaff, when the thunder brought the rain. One helmet short, and the whole room knows. One empty chair, where the cold wind goes. Used to be the loud one, first to laugh, last to leave. Now he listens for loose gravel, like it's speaking through the trees. Every run has got a number, every mile has got a cost, and a man who counts the helmets never stops counting what he lost. One helmet short, and the whole room knows. One empty chair, where the cold wind goes. They found the bike by morning, bent around a cedar post. Found his gloves in the ditch line, found his lighter almost closed. But the old man stayed quiet, When the sheriff read the time, just stared down at that helmet like it owed him one more ride. Now boys come in laughing with their faces full of fire. He lets them have a thunder, lets them call the road desire. Then he points to the bench when the last bike rolls in, says count what came back before you brag where you've been. One helmet short and the whole room knows. One empty chair where the cold wind goes. One helmet short is a lifelong road. You don't bury a brother and just go home. He locks the door at midnight, turns the neon low, counts the helmets one more time, then moves real slow.